Have you achieved your goals yet for 2025? No? Oh. Hi, welcome. If this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Alicia. I make content about a lot of things, specifically lifestyle, fashion, beauty, and travel. Today is September 19th, and we have about 3.5 months left in 2025, and we're locking in. We are locking in. This is lock-in season. This is the great lock-in. This is the winter arc. We're starting all of that right now. Since it's the middle of September, we are preparing for Q4. And Q4 is the end of the year. It's when we're all trying to hustle and bustle and make sure we've accomplished all of our goals, because most of us have not, myself included. But that's okay. We have one more quarter and we have just the right amount of time to get it all done. So we're going to get it all done, because what's the other option, right? The Great Lock-In is about locking in these last few months of the year and finally getting what we want. Finally locking into those habits and those routines to get the ideal body, to get the ideal career, to get the ideal anything, quite frankly. You can have whatever you want once you set up the right habits, routines, and rituals. And that's what we're talking about. How to lock in and get whatever you want. The time in 2025 is dwindling. The days are dwindling. Time is flying. And with that being said, you don't have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months to dilly-dally. We don't have time to not get things done. In this last quarter of the year, let's lock in and let's get it done. Part 1. What do you want? 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 That is the question. If you do not know what you want, what are we doing? What are we doing? The question that is going to spearhead this entire lock-in season is, what are you locking into? You know, like, what are you committing to? What are you focusing on? Like, the point of a great lock-in is to figure out an area of your life that you want to improve, or an area that is not exactly at the caliber that you want it to be at, and you want to make a pivot or a change or an update. You want to focus in on this thing, but what is that thing? What do you want? It could be you want to lose 50 pounds. It could be you want to gain 50 pounds. It could be you want to change careers. It could be you want to start a new career. It could be you just want to eat healthy. It could be taking your vitamins. It could be traveling more. It could be saving more money. It could be paying off your debt. It could be anything. You just have to figure out what it is. And also, it doesn't have to be one thing. It could be. It probably is easier if it's one thing to focus on. But if you're anything like me, we're focusing on a lot over here. So don't even be worried of that. But first things first, we have to figure out what we want. We have to identify what do we need for ourselves. In these last few months, we're ultimately trying to set ourselves up so that we can start 2026 with routines and rituals and habits and all of these things that we feel like is going to make us the person that we want to be or need to be. We have to start that now. You think it takes a month to create a habit? No, it takes longer than a month. Part 2, who are you to have it? That's not to say that you don't deserve what you want. It's more so, what type of person has the things that you want? For example, you want to lose 50 pounds. The type of person that loses 50 pounds is somebody who works out consistently, eats healthy, eats within a calorie deficit. The type of person that loses 50 pounds has certain habits, and you have to think about what those habits would be for me to accomplish this goal. The lifestyle of the person you want to become is different from what you're doing now, and you need to figure out what the difference is, and then we can start filling in the gaps. Part 3, take the last 3.5 months seriously. By that, I mean, in these 0.5 months, as in the rest of September, you need to be devising a plan or a system, a bunch of systems probably, of how you can bridge the gap between who you are and who you want to be. If you are somebody who is 50 pounds heavier than you want to be, and you want to be somebody who's 50 pounds lighter than who you are, you have to figure out the differences in the habits, routines, schedules, blah, 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 blah. You need to figure out the difference. in the rest of the month. And from the end of September going into October, you need to start practicing those habits and taking it seriously. Taking it seriously looks like taking the rest of September to plan. Because when I tell you, it is going to take time to figure out what it is you want exactly, because you're going to have to tweak it. Like, it could be, I want to lose 50 pounds right now, but as time goes on, it might be 75, it might be 45. Like, it will be tweaked over time. You just kind of have to start and figure it out as you go, but you definitely need a plan. And taking it seriously looks like doing some research. Actually doing a lot of research. You should be doing research on a regular whenever you're trying to do something new. Let's just put that out there. You should be doing research regularly whenever you're trying to make a change or inform yourself generally. Part 4. Part 4 is honestly the meat of this. It is about building your habits. And what are they? Because that's quite literally the most important part. You cannot be different without change, and that change usually boils down to a difference in habits. The thing about building habits and building routines and rituals is you may not necessarily get it right on the first ritual or habit or system or schedule that you build, but you need to build your first one. Your first one is going to show you all of the major flaws and holes in your plan. If you say you want to wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, come home, make breakfast, take a shower, go to work, and that's your plan for Monday, and you get up Monday morning and you're like, actually, I don't want to do that, maybe your plan should shift more so to something that's more accessible for you in your current state. And I also say this to say, you don't have to start with the hardest plan. Quite frankly, you don't have to start doing the hardest plan that you can think of. Like, if you have never gone to the gym at 5 a.m., your day one should not consist of you going to the gym at 5 a.m. Your day one should consist of the easiest way for you to incorporate your goals and habits piece by piece into your daily routine. If the biggest gap of time you have is after work, Monday through Friday, go to the gym after work. Don't force yourself to go in the morning knowing that you've never done that, unless you're just up for the challenge. If you're up for the challenge, I love that for you. If you're trying to be successful, you really have to start your habits, start your goals with something that is easy, and find a way to gradually build up the intensity. If you start on hard, you're more than likely going to quit. I have to tell you that. You're going to get overwhelmed very easily, very quickly, and you're going to quit. And then all of this was for nothing, right? Wrong. We're getting better at planning, better at creating habits, better at knowing what's best for us. Let me repeat that. We're getting better at knowing what's best for us. Part 5, focus on the plan. Part 5 is part 4 times 2. Focus on the plan. The plan that you built in steps 3 and 4 are ultimately going to be your guidelines. They are going to be your starting guidelines, should I say, for the next few months. Like I said, you will tweak them. That comes with the process. You usually don't start exactly how you end. That's just for the sake of taking in new information, learning, growing, adapting, you know? One of the biggest troubles that you will have on your journey of locking in is sticking to the plan. And that's because at a certain point, it loses its glamour, it loses its sparkle, it loses its allure. Your momentum may slow down. That's normal. It happens. It happens. But what's keeping you going? What is keeping that fire lit? What has you still willing to fight to have what you want? Find that. Hold on to that. Hold it close, in fact. Hold it very, very, very close. Before and after pictures. Body, bank account. Like, even with building your plan, consider potential hiccups. Like, if you want to work out 5 days a week throughout the week, consider what that would look like. Also, if you have plans during the week, if you have a holiday during the week and you don't go to work and the gyms are closed, or it's Christmas or whatever, just consider possible hiccups that you may have and just create an alternative plan. Step 6. This is what I would consider to be the most important step, significant step. get uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I am saying this to you and me. You need to be uncomfortable because that is the only place where you will grow. If you are doing the same things, you will get the same results. And that's literally the whole reason why we're doing this, is to not get the same results. We want a different result because we're doing different things, because we want to be better. And better is change, and we need to change. And in order to change, you got to be uncomfortable. It comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. In fact, find comfort in the discomfort. That's what I would say. Reframe it. Frame it as an opportunity to be different and feel different and just experience different emotions. So let's break it down. Here's the great lock-in. Decide what you want. Become the person who has it. Take the last 3.5 months seriously. Stick to your plan and build discipline and structure. And most importantly, get uncomfortable. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because in uncomfortability, we grow. And that's the point here, right? We're trying to grow. And speaking of growing, I'm trying to grow here on YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this background, if you enjoyed this setting, the type of video, my voice, how I look, anything about this video, if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, make sure to comment, and really consider subscribing. Like I said, I make lifestyle, fashion, beauty, travel videos. If you're interested. Over here on my channel, we're about bettering ourselves. We're about living our best life. We're about giving into our free will and just taking a chance on ourselves, because we only have now and we only have this life. This is all about building a life that you're proud of and wake up every day excited to live. That's what we're doing here. We're trying to wake up every day and we're trying to love our lives and love the life that we live, because we only get this one. We only have this one. And who wants to hate their life, you know? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you some more on my channel. I hope to see you a lot more on my channel and in the comments. Bye.